Hello, and welcome to another exciting, hopefully, episode. Probably the final episode for season one. Possibly, might be the second to last episode of Star Trek Europa for the season. I'm your host, as always, Jeff Harvey. Sometimes known as Dr. RPG, but that's rarer and rarer nowadays. You can find me all over the place at Studio Tembo. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and all the places. So check us out there. If this is our last episode, we're gonna take a short break. Afterwards and come back for season two when we know when we're going to do season two. In the meantime, let's go ahead and have introductions. Evelyn, you're at the top of the page. Go ahead.
I am Evelyn Corbin. I play Dr. Desave Onayet. I'm going to plug my TikTok because I have 2 whole TikToks now, and I'm very proud of it.
Nice.
You can find me on TikTok at Caffeinatrix. That's with 2 X's.
Yep. She's friended with me, so if you can't find her that way, you can find her through me on TikTok. So.
Yep.
Brian, go ahead. I almost forgot your name, Brian.
My name is Brian.
You're an integral member of our crew, Brian.
No, I honest to God almost forgot my own name a little while ago. So.
My name is Brian. I'm playing Captain Jorad Heaj for now. I would like to plug the concept of geese. Geese are pretty awesome.
They're loud as shit when they're sitting outside your window, though.
Yeah, I'll close my window. I'll be right back.
No.
No, you're fine.
Leave them open.
I can't hear them
Bring
right
us
now,
geese.
There are other days. It's all right. We've shunned him and he's gone away.
No.
Jack, Jack, you're next.
Yes, hello. I'm Jack. I will be playing Commander Arani Ambrose, at least for the moment, as well as several other fantastic characters that I enjoy so much. I have the interesting announcement that we just finished up our chapter finale of our Dungeons & Dragons campaign over on my channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension. So we're going to be without any more Dungeons & Dragons until the beginning of next year. But that does not mean that I won't be doing anything. I'm happy to announce the pilot of a brand new series that I am trying out called RPGs Uncovered. We're going to look at smaller TTRPG systems, with a preference for indie and smaller creators, and then work our way up from there. But we're going to take a look at really any sort of non-D&D TTRPG system, break down how easy it is to learn those rules, just get to the core mechanics, and learn what you need to know to run your first game. We're going to provide an example sort of playthrough mini series between 3 and 5 episodes, go all the way from session 0, where we talk about the game, talk about the tools, talk about the themes, build characters, all the way through a little mini arc, and then do a complete critical analysis of the system afterwards. So that is going to be running from now, for now, from November 6th up until just before the holidays in December, depending on how long it runs. So if that sounds cool to you, go check that out over on twitch.tv/The People's Ascension. I'm also on Twitter at PPLS Ascension, and I got my own Discord, which you can find through our Twitch page. Anyway,
yeah,
you do this one.
Let's play some Star Trek.
Get your
Princess
hands on
Bride.
this one and review this one.
All right. I mean that looks like a bigger system than some indie developers, but
Fate.
we'll we could get to that. I do adore me some Princess Bride.
Yeah, it's Fate system, so it's not too difficult. And any Fate games you would do would be the same as that. It adds a grandfather mechanic, which is really funny.
Cool.
Any suggestions you need on RPGs? I own at last count
an entire store.
Well, an entire store, but just in my house, I have over 300 different systems. So
yeah, I have a huge list. If this pilot series goes well, I mean, this could be what I'm doing for the next couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. Just with the books on the shelf behind me, I think you get 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let's go ahead and start our recap for the last session. Some interesting developments occurred. Ev, I believe. Well, anybody who wants it, but I think Ev, you had some notes.
I do have some notes. So our away team did fortunately safely beam aboard Toshiri's ship and didn't wind up on a enemy Romulan ship. The ship was under attack. Toshiri had initially told the group, go to your quarters. We've got this covered. Also, you don't really know our ship very well. However, as we were being escorted back to our quarters, one of the ship rocked and one of the conduits exploded, injuring the guard. We got the guard to their sick bay. We fought some
Enemy
other bad
Romulans.
Some
Yeah.
enemy Romulans.
Completely disintegrated one.
Yes, indeed. Well, Cherka became a medic briefly. The problem with doing split scenes is I have to go back and forth and look at my paragraphs to try and put everything together for the recap. Cherka got a signal boosted and sent it. Sent over all of the data on the Iconian date and other evidence to the Europa, which the captain was able to use to finally, at seemingly the last minute, convince Marjad?
No,
No.
the other one.
Martok?
No, the other
No,
one.
the other, or Kargan.
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 There you go. So many names.
Yeah.
You
should see it on
that-
my end.
Oh no, I'll bet. I have been, and I got all caught up in the story last week and forgot, but I have been highlighting names to help them pop out for recaps. So Kargan joined our end of the fight. The captain went down to engineering because the Europa was in some seriously bad shape. We had lost power to pretty well everything. We were running, at one point, I think we were just running on emergency power. And we were about to be dead in the water. So he went down to engineering, leaving Dasavi in charge. Dasavi panicked a lot in her head, but didn't get us blown up. Thanks to the Peregrines working on the outside, and not so. Yes, Silva? I got my names right.
Say that again.
Silva was at helm, right?
Silva, yeah, she was
yeah.
piloting the ship. Yeah. Mhm.
Yep. Silva swung us around, got us out of there as soon as we got power up, and lit the plasma that had been leaking out of the ship on fire. But unfortunately, the captain, in a very heroic last ditch effort to get everything done, knocked his own self out and did himself some severe damage. Tong found, what's that?
Lethal dose of radiation, I
Yes,
think was the
lethal dose of radiation. Tong beamed into the nacelle room, grabbed a med kit, tried to help him. Tong did some quick engineering work and got the transporters up just enough to get, I think, was it just Heaj and Dasavi to the sick bay?
Yep.
Yeah. So Dasavi had told the Fiend, get your ass down here with the quickness, and then promptly come back and said, I found
which to
myself
point
suddenly
out
in the med bay.
is a huge accomplishment for a transport engineer. A split site to site transporter control
It was very impressive.
from outside the transportation room.
Right.
Yes.
I was on fire this last episode.
I have on my notes, Tong promotion.
Captain Tong reporting for Kuwait.
Yes. I mean, Ambrose said he wasn't really ready to be captain yet.
Yeah, I mean, We had an ensign in command before. We can just promote Tong to full captain, and there we go.
There you go. That's how you get around that problem.
Yeah.
So we had left off with Heaj in sickbay. His abdomen was bulging and moving in a very disturbing fashion. He had suffered severe radiation poisoning. His body was shutting down. There was a possibility to stabilize him, but it was very, very slim. And there was no realistic way to stabilize both him and the symbiont. And so we kind of left with that.
Okay. Just getting a bunch of messages. So, with that, does anybody else have anything they want to add? Okay.
There is the still loose end complication of Commander Toshari sort of kind of maybe working underneath, or at least unbeknownst to the general Romulan Star Empire, who's probably going to get into a lot of trouble for what she helped us do.
Entirely possible.
There's that to look forward to, because I don't think we actually did we get the two parties reunited by the end of last. Yeah, so we're coming to that. Yeah.
Yep, we're coming to that.
I have that at least initiation to that in my head.
Okay. Okay. So when we last left off, there was the scene in sickbay, and I don't exactly remember how that went down. I was going to recap that entire thing, but I didn't rewatch it, so I forgot how it went down. But you were conducting the surgery. You had successfully removed the symbiote.
Yep.
And placed the symbiote in a temporary stasis. And then you've had essentially that's where we're at. So you've conducted the surgery. You've placed the symbiote in stasis, and Heaj is likely unconscious at this point. You can revive him if necessary, but he does not have long without the symbiote to live.
I presume at this point, him being conscious would be very painful for him.
I mean, you can medicate him. You could certainly make it so that he was, comfortable enough.
Okay. Brian, if it's okay with you, I would like to have, because I feel like this is something Dasavi would do. I'd like to have her revive Heaj long enough to say goodbye to his wife. Pull up the wife on screen in the med bay.
Sure, yeah.
So once the dust has settled and it's the symbiote is as taken care of as it's going to get for right now, she'll hail Narendra and put it up on screen and revive Heaj. The wife has already been apprised of the situation because you told me already to contact her because she was on the council and be able to advise us as to what to do with the symbiote from that point. So it's not like I'm just for the viewers who don't remember from 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The wife knows what's up.
Yeah. She comes up on screen. There's definitely a look of mourning on her face. Like, I'm not sure she expected. You're not entirely certain she expected to see you again. At least not, breathing.
Mm-hmm.
The children are not there. I think your children were not on the station, right? They were. I don't think we decided that.
No.
But they are not there. They're not present. Oh, hang on. Okay.
I think when Jorah becomes conscious, he has like a ghostly pallor to him. His organs are shutting off one by one without the symbiote there to sustain him. And I don't think his mind is all there either. It's like having a piece of your brain yanked out and expecting to operate. But the one thing that, if there's one thing that he's going to remember, no matter how much of his brain is removed, is that he loves the person on the other side comm. And when he sees her, his eyes open a bit wider, and he says, Kane, I'm sorry. Looks like I can't remember what happened.
She has a obvious catch in her throat, and as she gasps, Jorad, just rest. It'll all be over soon. You can see the tears, a couple of tears streaking down each side of the face. She's clearly trying to hold it together.
Mm-hmm. Tell the children that I love them and that I'm proud of them.
She kind of turns her head to the side. I will.
I love you.
I
Goodbye.
love you. And then you can see her kind of choking up as she closes her eyes, just as the screen cancels, shuts off.
And then I think his last moments are he turns to Desavi, and he just gives her like a small smile, like just the same kind of like pleasant smile he had every day when he went into work and prepared to get the job done. The kind that would show his enthusiasm for what he was doing. And he gives her that smile, and then his head just loses the strength, and then just his eyes still open, he sags on the table.
The insurance meter on the back wall flatlines. And let's go to the intro.
If we meet in the middle, we can cut that shit out.
Right.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
So we're back. Let's go ahead and start with what you want to do, Ev.
So Desavi will
Now in
Take
command
me.
of the ship,
right now in command of the fucking ship. I don't think we really need to finish out in the sick bay, so we can just kind of pop to.
Yeah, there's not much else left to do there.
Yeah.
They don't really need much of an autopsy, and even if we did, we're not going to do that on camera. So
Right. So Desavi's just gonna be in the ready room. She's gonna hail Ambrose.
So Ambrose, you and company are aboard ship. I don't know if we ever actually discussed the escape that happened, but eventually the Romulan ship did manage to get free enough, cloaked. It's damaged, and it was fleeing, headed back towards the rendezvous, or towards where the Europa was going to originally meet with them. The ship has been kind of on an over. The term that I would actually use is overcast. Everything has felt kind of misty and dark, kind of like a somber day in the middle of summer that it's going to rain all day kind of thing.
Like you just committed treason and you don't know what to do now.
Right, like you and your entire crew have just committed a massive treason, and your crew may not have been necessarily willing to do so. Also, a lot of people died on this ship trying to get you out and try to get the ship free. And you haven't really spoken to Toshari since this happened. She's been kind of distant, and you guys have been sort of not really sequestered to your section of the ship, as it hasn't been stated you can't leave that area, but no one has really said anything beyond, you can go anywhere else. So when a message comes through to you from being relayed in from one of the comms officers, Commander Ambrose, it appears that there is a message from Starfleet from the Europa.
Patch it through. Thank you.
He clicks off, and his face is replaced by Dasabi.
Commander.
Doctor.
We have run into a very... doesn't matter. What is your status?
I am getting a ride home as planned before. We are en route. The boat's a little shakier than promised, but she'll hold true, and we'll get around.
How far out do you think?
4, 5 days.
We have 3. I understand very little of the situation other than to know there is a situation. However, time is very much of the essence, and we need to rendezvous sooner rather.
I take it there's a reason I'm not talking to Heaj.
Yes. Duras.
That's all I need. I'll talk with the captain. There's choppy waters out here. As was a saying back home, way back when. Stand by for rendezvous coordinates. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Gotta be out.
Screen cuts off.
All right, I need to go find the sub-commander.
Okay. Let's see.
I assume that there are guards of some kind, maybe not keeping us inside, but watching our door. I can just pop out and be like,
oh, absolutely, yeah. You can let someone know that you have an urgent message for her, and the Centurion you talk to tells you that he will relay the message, and she will get back to you when she is available. Maybe 10 minutes or so before she messages you, before she comms you, and the comm message comes through and says to meet her in her quarters, which the Centurion will walk you to.
Sure.
When you arrive at her quarters, the door slides open. There's a low music playing. It's you can't tell what it is necessarily, but it's you're not probably up on classical Romulan music, but it's somber.
Only nursery rhymes.
Yeah, just nursery rhymes. It's a somber music, and there are several bottles of a bluish liquid, half empty, around the room. 2 or 3 different bottles and a number of glasses. And she smiles a little, or she fights back a smile a little bit as the door opens. Oh, Commander, come in.
Quite an ambiance you have here.
I've been trying to work through some problems. And please have a seat. Can I offer you a beverage?
Well, it seems you already have them open. Might as well.
I was trying to find the correct vintage, and she pours you something and hands it to you. Turns out that if you drink several of them, you can't tell the difference anyways.
That is my understanding as well.
What can I do for you, Commander? As she sits down on the couch, kind of in a lump, and tries to maintain a casual air.
I hate to throw another problem at you, but I have been in contact with my ship. I'm sure you're aware. They've requested a rendezvous sooner rather than later. There seems to be some sort of emergency, and I think given the state of cooperation that we've been in thus far, could be beneficial to both sides to have a bit of a talk out in open waters.
I see. She fumbles around a little bit, sets her glass down and fumbles around a little bit looking for a pad, and she finds one. And is there some kind of timeline? And she starts scrolling through. You can hear the whizzing of maps go by on the thing. The same sounds you hear normally when you guys are zipping through maps on your pads.
I was told we have a deadline of 3 days. I was told by the doctor, so I assume it is a dead line.
I see. The ships, I believe that the Europa's top speed is, if my information is correct, around 9.8. You can hear her clicking some buttons. We're currently at limited power, but if we push things, we can reach. I believe we can rendezvous at these coordinates. And she hands the pad back to you. If that is acceptable, I will have my team, or I will have my officers relay that to the Europa.
That'll work. How's the ship faring?
It'll survive. Repairs will be completed in a few days, but...
If you're not worried about any state secrets, I do have an excellent engineer with me.
I believe I've sacrificed enough state secrets for now. Although I suppose they can only hang you so many times.
And I swig back the last half of the shot I was sipping. You know, it doesn't have to come to that.
What would Starfleet do in the same position? A centuries-old enemy gives aid, access to a top secret ship, a top secret location, attacking the Tal Shiar, or in this case, your Starfleet intelligence, destroying an entire station of assets that the Empire could use, or in this case, the Federation could use.
The difference is the Federation is a unified government. To my knowledge, at the very least, we're not as fractured as your empire. You're in a civil war, whether you know it yet or not. You don't need to be an enemy to your own state when you don't know the state of your own state.
Yeah.
We've worked together before. The Romulan Empire and Starfleet. This is a further extension of that alliance. An alliance that I think could benefit, as it has before, both sides, to the detriment of the dissidents in your own administration.
I can only hope the Senate sees it that way. I made
I'm
the right
merely-
decision, Commander. I don't regret the decision I made. It is simply going to be difficult to come to terms with the reality that I may have betrayed my people, even if it was for the right reason.
Sometimes in war, the people back home sitting in the high-backed cushy chairs don't have all the information. You did what you had to. I'm just saying there's other options. I'm not saying they're good options. But
Perhaps we'll
Don't-
find a way to discuss those options sometime. She kind of smiles and picks her drink back up. In the meantime, I believe there's an Earth expression. She raises her glass. Salut.
one of many. Prost.
I will get you back to your ship as quickly as I can, Commander.
I appreciate that.
You may stay and drink if you want, but I'm going to turn the music up very loud. As she reaches for a little pad on the edge of the little interface on the corner of the table, and starts tapping it. The music starts getting quite loud. Right.
I think we can end that scene with the two of us just lingering in front of the doorway, and it's not really certain whether I stay or go.
Okay, I can do that. Back aboard the Europa. Let's go ahead and close this one and this one. Back aboard the Europa, Dasabi, you get a message relayed from the Romulan ship with a coordinates for rendezvous.
Yep. I will. I don't think we've gotten a ship update yet. Bridge to engineering.
Engineering here.
What's our status?
Well, now that we've got power, I'm able to. We're a little banged up, but we've got power, so I can. What do you need?
Max warp.
Max warp? Okay, hold on. There's 2 max warps. Do you want
The
max warp?
fastest one.
All right, I can give you maybe 12 hours of that before
Better than
she
nothing.
starts taking permanent damage.
I'll take what you can give me.
You got it. And then you hear his voice. All right, you lugs. When the doctor says maximum, she means maximum. And then the comm cuts out.
She will send the coordinates over to Helm Silva plot a course and get us there as quickly as possible.
Aye. Doctor, where's the captain?
No longer with us.
Aye. I'll plot a course.
Thank you.
Where's the captain? On a Romulan ship, we're going to meet him over there. So the ship goes into warp. Costro, you managed to get about warp. Normally the ship can max out at warp 9.75. You're getting it around 9.8. You and Tong and a few other people are trying to get that last little bit out of her. But with the damage she's taking, everything else, it's a struggle. There's a lot of stress and tension going on down in engineering right now.
It's all hands on deck to keep the antimatter coolant flowing and that kind of thing.
Right. Does anybody else have anything else they want to do at the moment? Anything like on the Romulan ship or here?
No, we don't necessarily need to do it on screen, but Dasavi will just kind of check in. She'll have left sick bay under Define's command, and she'll just check in from time to time, privately in the ready room, just getting the status of the symbiote.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to describe the symbiote if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So normally it looks a little like a horseshoe crab, and it's like a deep salmon color. It was when you got it, but it has definitely been growing paler and paler and kind of flattening. It seems to be losing shape. Yeah.
Weakening, not able to hold muscle tone.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think if I want to do that scene right now or not. I think no.
Is it losing shape at a rate that indicates we still have the 3-day timeline, or like we need to figure out some temporary measures?
You're still on pace. So, I mean, it's definitely like it's going to require some skilled nursing and medical work, but short of you've been reading up on things, obviously, and you can use a human host temporarily. It was done on the Enterprise almost a decade ago, a little over a decade ago. So it is possible, but it's really not. It's not ideal for the symbiote, and that symbiote was in much better condition than Heaj currently is. So it's hard to say what would actually happen, whether or not the human or the symbiote would actually benefit from that.
Would any of the enhanced Klingon tech that we have help extend the life?
That's a good question. Go ahead and give me a medical roll. I'm going to say the difficulty is going to be 3. Yeah, this is a new session too, so I get all my hate back. Give me all my hate back.
Can I assist with Delphine?
Yeah.
Or Delphine? Sorry.
It's 2, 4, 6. I get 8. So
My Xenobio apply here?
yes.
Okay. I'm going to use one of those momentums that we have.
Could somebody roll a d20 for me? I forgot to actually join the campaign.
Oh.
I always forget because we could see it on Jeff's
right.
screen, so I forget that I don't have it up.
It's a 13.
Okay. And the ship can assist too here, right?
Yes, it can.
Nice.
She assists with a 12.
Brilliant. That's 6 successes.
Nice.
And then you can also re-roll 1 d20 in your pool because of Chief of Staff from Delphine.
Although I don't think you need to. I think they're all successes.
Yeah.
Sure. I just wanted to note that.
Re-rolling is asking for trouble that we don't have right now. Right. Though I do see that Jack, in his attempt to belatedly help, did roll his first 20 of the night.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a good thing Jeff was quicker on the trigger finger, because I would have rolled you a complication.
Yeah. You're lucky. All right, so you get back I said 3 momentum, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can find some what you find from the Klingon tech that you have available is that some of the Klingons have an enhanced healing rate caused by Borg nanobots. You could adapt the Borg nanobots to work in the suspension that is that Heaj is currently in. But it is Borg nanobots. So there's always that risk that they're, Borg nanobots.
Borg Heaj.
What do you think Heaj would want you to do? I just want that thought to enter your mind for a second.
I'm actually, if we get to that point, I'm going to hold off on that. But if we get to that point, the plan is totally to telepathically connect with the symbiote.
I can just imagine we have Dasavi just contemplating behind her desk, and then we have the spiritual form of Heaj over here and the spiritual form of Ambrose over here. It's like, you can't do that. I will shoot him. No, you have to. It's the only way to survive. We're talking Borg here. I mean, they're really just robots, and we've integrated robots into the system.
I mean, one of my values is with great risk comes great reward. Introducing Borg nanobots into the symbiote is totally something I would do if it comes to it.
We may have to push that boundary there.
Today I'm the shut up Josh.
So yes, that's what you get. There's definitely the possibility there.
Okay.
Delphine is back on the bridge. I think let's do a quick scene with Tong and Eva. Did I ever come up with a picture for Eva? I think I did. I don't know if it's a picture I really wanted to use, though.
Back during the Helleron station, you had a picture, but it was said it was kind of an amalgamation of that station's AI and her. So it wasn't really her.
There it is. So, Tong, you are completing some of the final connection stuff, like you're refining Eva and her interface in order to get that extra little bit of warp speed, because she can help tune the engines a little bit faster than human hands can. You're still an ensign, right? So, Ensign Tong, do you have a moment for an inquiry?
I suppose so. Very busy, very busy. But yes, talking is good while working. What can I do for you, Eva?
Can you explain to me the rush that we are in? The commander or the captain, I understand, is no longer is offline.
Oh, right. Yeah, he wasn't looking so good, and I've been busy, so I haven't really checked in. But well, that's very sad news. Very sad news. I'm sure the doctor is doing. What was the question?
The need for this pushing of the ship, the high speed, after such a substantial damage that we have taken. I am trying to simply understand the reasoning to put the ship in greater danger.
Oh, I don't think I have all the information. I still have only one little pip here, so they don't tell me much. And honestly, I don't ask. A lot of very important questions at least. I think the commander is not here, so I assume we're going to get him and something.
I see. The captain and I had several short conversations about symbiosis.
Right? Mm-hmm.
I am curious as to what will happen next with the joining. My experience with touching other minds has been troubling. I'm curious as to what the next phase that we experience is. Would you be able to accept symbiosis.
Like Tong actually puts his tools down for that, and I don't know. I'm not sure I want to find out though. Really, I don't. We eat slugs. I don't know if we'd really like. I don't think I really want.
Uh,
I don't think so. I'm not a doctor though, so I'd really just probably rather not.
I see. Once you are finished here, Ensign, I believe that there is something on deck. There is a coupler on deck 3 that is beginning to fail.
Oh no! Oh, that is a very important coupler. Okay, all right, I got this.
We'll just end there. All right. Anybody else have anything else they want to do before the rendezvousing? Okay. Dasavi. Not Dasavi.
Yes.
Yeah, Dasavi. Whichever one's in charge now.
This Avi.
Ambrose isn't there yet. Also not there. Where'd I put her? Must have closed it. You were on the bridge, and you were informed by your flight officer, as is standard procedure, that you have arrived at the rendezvous coordinates. Your tactical team, who I believe is Koba right now, would advise you that there are no other ships on sensors at the moment.
Okay.
So, with that, what you want to do? There's not a lot to do, but, do you have anything you want to do? Bloop.
Where are we? Are we inside the neutral zone?
No. You're in essentially unclaimed space, nearish to Klingon Federation and Romulan space. So you're kind of like in between. I think I do have a map if need be, but
True international waters.
true international waters.
Okay. Yellow alert is still shields up, right?
Yes. Usually.
Mhm.
Let's go to yellow alert and continue scans. You are using the modified scans that Heaj and Cher could develop, correct?
That
Those
would be
are-
too Cobra. Yeah.
Yeah, Koba will say, yeah, but those were configured specifically for Klingons, but they might work.
So you are roughly here,
Okay.
between Ikobar and Balduk. Those of you who didn't see this before, I share it now. There you go. An inordinate amount of time passes. Like, it's an uncomfortable amount of time that you've been sitting here, like a whole commercial break.
Okay.
And after some time, it begins to feel almost like something like this is not gonna happen, and this is a bad place to be standing. And a little before, a little after, like about 4 hours of sitting here.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's quite a while.
quite a while. You get a hail, and a ship begins to decloak off the bow.
Okay. Well, on screen.
Oops, that's main sick bay. That is not what called you. Toshri's face, pops up on the screen. Commander Oneat, it is good to see you. Where is
Well,
Captain
Commander,
Heaj?
it is good to see you as well. Definitely better than any alternatives. The captain couldn't make this trip, which is why we needed to up the rendezvous, which I deeply, deeply appreciate.
Of course. The commander has been anxious to get back to the ship.
I imagine
you are
I
ready.
didn't leave him with very much information.
Yes. If you are ready, I can beam over your crew.
Yes. Thank you. Lower shields.
There's you get a sense from her, just for a split second of like imminent violence, but it promptly goes away.
Disruptors, full power, destroy all evidence.
Yeah, exactly. I can save myself, but it promptly goes away. And then you get a message from the transporter bay that Commander Ambrose is aboard. Commander Ambrose and company are aboard.
Sub Commander, I regret I do not have time to sit and talk, as my presence is promptly needed. However, I can't speak for Starfleet, but I would like to offer any aid that Europa can.
I believe the safest thing we can all do at the moment is leave the system. I suspect that if there are Klingons still near the area, they will be coming soon, and we are quite between two very live areas of combat.
Indeed.
We are going to rendezvous. We are going to head towards Narendra Station. With any luck, Chancellor Martok will have good news going forward.
We shall meet you there.
She kind of nods, and then the screen goes out.
I will go down and meet them in the transporter bay.
Well, I imagine Ambrose is already heading to sickbay.
Oh.
Whoops,
Then I will
that's Admiral Arlani, not. There's Ambrose.
So yeah, Disabi would get a conveniently timed message just as the communication screen turns off. Doctor, I'm heading to sickbay. I assume you are either there or will be there shortly.
I'll meet you there. Bring Cherka with you.
Of course. Cherokee, you're with me.
Okay.
Mills, give me a status report.
Sure.
You'll have to go to the bridge for that.
Okay. Like, we just got here. Our status is we have arrived. What do you want?
We're on the Europa. That's a good thing.
Eva seems to be functioning again. I don't know if that's good or bad. All right, so Mills will head to the bridge and get that.
In the meantime, the group on screen. So that's Define is all covered up by me. Whoops, that's not Define. That's the sick bay. Define can go down here. So Chirka, the doctor, and Chirka and Ambrose are walking to the sick bay. Dasavi is going there on her own, and the lot of you basically arrive around the same time. Or you know what? I'm going to have Ambrose and Chirka arrive first. You arrive, and Define is there, pretty much in charge of the room at the moment. And there are some injuries in sickbay. Most of them are being tended to. There's a definite atmosphere hanging over the a pressure, a presence, whatever, hanging over the sick bay. There's a somberness to the staff in there at the moment. You also see in one of the one of the biobed areas as you're entering, there is a large tube with a worm in it, for lack of better phrasing, a shoe crab worm thing. And you see it just before, just as Dasavia's entering in behind you.
Welcome back. I'm sorry to have to go from one crisis to another and without much time for explanation. However, Ensign, Lieutenant, what are you?
Ensign, Jirka.
Ensign. Ensign, I don't even know how to ask you this, so I will do so bluntly. As I'm certain you can surmise, the captain has passed. Sorry, the cat started yelling. And then hid because apparently he didn't really want to leave. Jorad is no longer with us.
Oh,
In a very short matter of time, Heaj will also no longer be with us. You are the nearest unjoined trail and the only one we could get to before the symbiote also expires.
You can't be serious. I never applied to be a host.
I gathered when both the Council and Starfleet informed me that the nearest unjoined Trill was 2 weeks away. And from what I have gathered in my many years with Jorad, what I'm asking is no small thing. Both for you as a person and for you as a Trill. I have no doubt the Trill Council will be displeased, but they have two choices and the other is a little more permanent.
I think you might be understating it there. If they find... On my planet, wars have been fought over the symbiotes. They are very protective about who,
I understand. Yes, Beth.
I don't think I could.
I will not order this. This is something that should be taken on willingly. I will impress upon you, however, that it's either the Heaj symbiote can borrow you until we can get the both of you to Trill, or we can bury the symbiote with Jorad when we return home.
Her stomach sinks and she just goes.
I don't need an answer now, but I will need one within the next 2 hours. And again, I'm sorry, I know you just got back from what I can only imagine was a very intense mission. And I'm giving you minimal time to decompress and process this. But I assure you, if time were not of the essence, I wouldn't be going this route.
Well, okay, if it's just temporary, then yeah, okay, I think I can manage that.
I presume it would be temporary. My understanding, and granted, we didn't study the joining ceremony because your people keep that very tightly under wraps. My understanding from talking to Jorad is the symbiote can be temporarily housed under normal conditions. This particular symbiote is not well. Jorad sustained a significant amount of radiation damage, and therefore so did the symbiote. But with a healthy host, I don't see why Heaj cannot heal with your help and then be transplanted, I suppose, to its proper host.
Well, the Trill Council won't be, the Symbiosis Commission won't be happy about somebody, an associate taking the symbiote, but I suppose they'll be even less happy if I let it die. And I don't think I could live with myself with that either. All right. Yeah, maybe just for a little while, till we can get it to Trill.
All right. Your actions will definitely not go unnoted. Thank you. We'll go with the Fiend. He will get you prepped, and we will get things moving.
Okay. Well, here's hoping I don't become a completely different person. I guess we'll find out.
And she'll turn to Ambrose.
Ambrose probably would have been at least a few paces away from that conversation. Either looking in on the Heaj symbiote, or I assume at this point, Jorad has been put in some sort of
we've
there's a morgue.
Yeah, morgue. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look on that thing, actually, there's a morgue in that middle room there.
Mm-hmm.
Cherica and Daphne and a few other nurses are going back towards the surgical ward, and they're taking Heaj, so they're all out of the area, so you guys can do what you want to do.
Commander, I have to prep, but I assure you, I will give you a full debrief when we're out of surgery.
I have Mills working on a status report for as much as she can give me.
Wait, Commander, before you go, do you think this is a good idea?
I don't think this is a decision that Starfleet has any jurisdiction over. You're the only one who can answer that. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for, and I know there's not really any other good option. But you're not responsible for the life of Heaj or any of those that came before. He's a sad casualty of these perpetual wars we always seem to be stuck in. But from what I understand, from the admittedly few conversations that I had with Jorad, the Heaj symbiont changed his life. For the better,
Indeed.
he would say. Made him a more confident, complete probably isn't the right word, but I don't know much about the situation. You probably, I'm sure you know more than I do.
For what it's worth, Durad would not begrudge you your decision either way, but would certainly not be upset about you hosting the symbiote.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I was kind of worried my own mind would be yelling at me. All right, let's. We said we had to hurry, so
Go see to your patients, doctor. Talk later. I'll get the bridge in order.
I'm happy to say you have the bridge.
All right, Dasavi, let's go ahead and start, and Dafine can assist, as will the ship. Go ahead and give me the start of a whatever those things that we do are called.
Work track thingies. Extended task.
Extended task. That's the thing.
Scientific combat.
Right.
Scientific combat. Your difficulty is 2. Your work track is going to be 15.
That's so many.
You have a resistance of 1.
That's dumb.
That's dumb. You have a magnitude of 3. And you have an interval of 1 hour.
All right.
could
If
we
you remember what those things all mean, great.
could we set a limit?
Let me set a limit.
To how many rolls can be done?
Yeah, because as an extended task, like right now, there's like no time, there's no consequence for failure. But if we set a limit where it has to be done by a certain point, or else the symbiote dies.
Well, isn't that where the time frame comes in?
Good.
So the interval is how long it takes between rolls. I was going to add in things like complications and stuff where the symbiote could pass. Let's go ahead and say, since we were going to give a few hours and you didn't need those few hours for your decision, let's say 5 hours. If it goes over 5 rolls, which it probably won't, then it fails, and Heaj and or Chirka die, or both.
All right. So resistance of 1, magnitude of what now?
3.
What are these by me?
I've got all this written down. You don't need to worry about that.
All right.
Basically, as a quick reference as to what it is, difficulty is obviously the difficulty in your roll. 2 is standard difficulty. Work is 15. That's how many damage it can take. Resistance of 1. That's how many it reduces. How much damage reduces by each time. Magnitude is 3. That's essentially how many wounds it takes. And then your interval is an hour. That's how long between each roll essentially is going by in game.
So I figure we're in like those red smocks with the little caps, the Star Trek surgical outfits are for some reason red. Maybe
That way you can't see the blood that's on them.
Right. Pretty much.
That's the opposite reason why they're not red in the real world.
Yep.
But,
All right. So go ahead and give me your first roll.
I already did.
So you got what was that, 3 successes?
3 successes.
So that is 1 additional momentum.
Plus Dafine and
Yeah, Dafine and the computer both help. So
plus you get to re-roll because of Dafine's ability. It is a medicine check, but you got 2 successes anyway.
it didn't register it, but I rolled a 1. Let's re-roll that again, I guess. This time it was 13.
Well, that is still 4 successes. So
2, 3. And there's my sound. Let me get you guys' sound back, because
talking. Leave me talking just to test. Talk. Test.
there you go. There's your sound. All right. We only had a minor computer failure right there, but it is now up and running again. So when we left off, Dasavi.
Damn it, Eva.
Yes, damn it, Eva. That's what you get when you bring up
Get your shit together.
the other doctor. She doesn't like him.
Right, neither do I.
So we were doing. Oh, I didn't open up my other notes. You were in the the middle of a roll. You had gotten a bunch of successes. I think 4 successes.
5.
5. Yeah, you're lying now.
I got a 2 and a 12. You got a 13, and the fiend got a. I don't remember, but she succeeded.
Lies. All right. So difficulty was 2, so you got 5. That leaves you 3, 2, 3, 3. Gotta do my math here. 3 momentums. So go ahead and give me your D6 roll.
Oh God, what just happened? Come back here. That's just my straight medicine, right?
Medicine plus 2.
Okay, so that's the 7. I don't know why that's not marked.
6 and 2 effects. Oh, I know. I was going to open.
You could, if you want, plug it in under your weapons category, so you could roll it just like a phaser.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, awesome, cool.
Yeah, it was already plugged in. I have a 5 and a 7, and I couldn't remember which was which because apparently I decided not to label them. I'm guessing the 5 is probably the phaser because my security. Oh no, my security's a 1, so I don't know what the hell the 5 is.
It's probably something we don't use anymore. All right, so that is how many you got there? You got 6 and 2 effects. I don't think the effects much matter here. Minus 1, although you do have 3 momentum to spend. So you've got 5, which will give you a magnitude, but you also could just have that extra 1. You've got momentum to spend. What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's go ahead and spend the momentum.
On?
Can you go towards work?
Yeah, put it.
Yeah, it's probably best. All
Is there
right,
any
so
resistance to deal with?
There is 1, but
Science armor. Cool.
So, there's no reason to spend it on penetration because it's the same result.
It works exactly the same. So
yeah.
So 3 additional work. 4 resistance. Yeah. Okay. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right. The surgery is going swimmingly.
And that is 1 magnitude. So you're doing quite well. Everyone is responding quite nicely. I will remember to spend my complications on next time. So while that is ongoing, Ambrose was heading to the bridge, I assume?
Yep.
I think by now, Dasavi has told everybody about the captain, or at least there's like this sense of...
There's certainly the rumor going around. I don't know that Dasavi's told anyone, but both Tong and Silva certainly know.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean Dasavi, I meant Silva.
Yeah, but between Silva and Tong, yeah, the whole ship knows at this point.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I wanted to tell Tong, have Eva tell Tong, because Eva knows, and then Tong would be like, I'm not telling anyone. Everyone knows now because I told everyone.
I think when Ambrose enters, everybody looks expectantly at him.
Kostra, I'm going to assume Koba has gone off to do other duties since.
I mean, he's probably in the engine room, like usual.
Koba is what I meant. Koba, because Koba was on the bridge for tactical, but now Mills is back, so Mills is on the bridge for tactical. So.
Yeah.
So Ambrose steps his foot on the bridge. Everyone kind of looks at him with an expectant and knowing look.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk down the little ramp and over to the center stage. Look around at everybody, give them some nods. Look back at the chair and just the slightest inhale and straightening as I slowly sit myself down in the captain's chair, almost begrudgingly. Mills, tactical status report. Silva, plot a course back to Narendra. Safest possible maximum speed.
All right.
Who is on sensors at this point? That's
probably
O'Connor. O'Connor, keep a scan going for any cloaked vessels.
Yes, sir. And where are we at, Jeff?
As far as on the map,
No. Sorry. As far as the status of the ship, how fucked up have we made her?
okay. So your status report, you do a quick rundown of your damage report and everything else. Power is back online. There's a lot of there are several conduits that are damaged. Repair teams are in progress. There's a number of casualties. Mostly it's injuries, so there's not a lot of dead, people. There's a few. Obviously, you've lost a couple of shuttlecraft, whatever fighters they are. Beyond that, though,
Did we lose like most of the peregrines, and we come back with like 3?
I think you lost 3.
We lost 1 before, and then 2 in this combat, so we're down
Right.
from max of 6 to total of 3 at this point.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, you get shields. Shields would be functional if needed. Weapons are able to be brought online. But putting the ship under a significant strain power wise may cause more damage, just because you've got kind of a lot of weakened systems, like energy control systems and power conduits and stuff like that, which engineering, like I said, is definitely working on. It'll probably be the best estimate that Kostra has probably given, or at least the engineering has reported, is probably about 3 days to fully repaired, which means it could take as little as like 15 minutes. Just, you never know with engineers.
Right.
So
The ship is limping along, and as long as we don't push her too hard, sir, we should be able to continue with the power and the systems we have. Engineering estimates about 3 days.
Yeah. 3 to 4
about
days.
3 days before we're back at full power.
All right. Bridge to engineering.
Engineering here.
Kostra, I need you to keep this ship held together a little bit longer. I want us to get back into Federation territory as quickly as possible, and then we can loosen up.
I will tell the crew not to spare the duct tape.
All right, good man. Silva, Warp 9, get us home.
Aye.
Going to do anything else? Contact anybody else? Starfleet, because Starfleet doesn't know, or just gonna wait.
What's our ETA to Federation space? I know the expanse out here is, I mean, those boundaries are meaningless, but
right.
When are we back in the blue cloud?
Official Federation space is probably about a day or so, maybe a day and a half. Actually, like behind potentially shipped lines, like lines where there are, you can be defended by other ships, probably 2 days.
Okay. From my recollection, Starfleet didn't know about this operation, or am I mistaken?
They didn't know about your operation. They did know about Heaj and the Europa going to fight with Martok,
right?
And to fight against Kargan. Like that was actually encouraged by Starfleet. So
right. Did we have to go the opposite direction to rendezvous? We did, didn't we?
A little bit, yeah. You're definitely farther away from Balduk than you would have been.
Right.
Closer to Romulan space from Balduk than you would have been.
Okay. Instead of like a full comm back to Narendra, can I just send out like a data packet?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna send back no, mission successful.
Status report of the ship.
Status report for the ship. Yeah. Martok was there, so Martok knows what's going on. The problem is Ambrose wasn't there. Ambrose doesn't know what's going on. So
Right.
yeah, Ambrose is just going to send back a status report of the ship and whatever debrief has been made from the whole Kargan ship battle incident. We're going to leave out everything to do with the subcommander and Romulans and Iconia and all that. So
Right. Are you going to relay back the captain's status?
Yes, that will be in the report.
Okay.
Captain Jurad killed in action. Heaj symbiote was kept in stasis and is now, due to the time constraints of the symbiote and emergency medical procedures being attempted to house the symbiote in Ensign Cherka, at least for the time being. ETA back at Narendra 3-ish days to have medical teams standing by in case.
Okay. Give another roll, Dasavi. That's a failure.
You said you were going to spend threat on this one. Do you want
I was. Boom. Let's spend 2-3 threat. We'll say if you get a complication, it will lengthen the interval by an hour.
This specific interval or overall?
This specific interval.
I'm going to buy a die. Let's see if that's a 4 life. Oh, good.
Oh, geez.
I'll take 4 successes.
Or that gives you 5 total successes because the ship failed, but the fiend succeeded.
I believe the ship we still get a complication because the ship got 18.
It did.
Now, with the fiend's ability, can the ship re-roll?
I'm not sure. Hold on. I think it's just the person they're assisting, but
Okay.
I'm happy to double check that.
In the meantime, go ahead and sort out the other things. So roll your d6s.
Yeah, the character attempting the medicine task. Or no, all characters. Yeah, all characters. So yeah, the ship can reroll.
She re-rolls and still gets a
Damn it!
All right.
Slightly less complicated complication.
Slightly less complicated complication. It's 58 minutes instead of 59 minutes. So you got what, 7 there, and 3 additional. So you're probably going to just use for 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be 10. That would give you
9.
Okay.
Is that right? With the resistance, right?
That should give us 3 total moment, or 3 total.
No, it'll give you 9 because it'll give you total because that's gonna go over the 15. So that'll get you to your 3 magnitudes in 3 hours. It'll take a little longer than you would hoped because the surgery take a little harder. But yeah, you that does succeed and defeats the work track, which gives a magnitude. Plus you're over by 5. That gives a work that completes the work. That is also a magnitude. That's 3 magnitudes total in 3 hours because of the complication.
Okay.
Yeah, so the complication basically comes in that at first Chirka is her body is somewhat resistant to the symbiote, and because of the symbiote's weakness, it is a little less able to snuggle in there and snuggle itself in there. But eventually the symbiote does take hold, and you can let Ambrose know that the at least it appears to be successful for the moment. There's always a chance of rejection, but you won't know for days.
Okay.
Well, you'll know in a couple of days, within the next couple of days.
Right. Hold on, I'm writing.
I tell you what, having the Zoom channel up in front of me directly does make it a lot easier to deal with you guys. Like I can see you much more clearly. It's normally covered by the fact that I have 10,000 things on my screens.
All right. With everything stable and Cherka still being all unconscious and crap, I will clean up and go to the bridge.
Okay. Chirka, give me a roll. I also like a roll from Chirka. Give me a
Yeah, what kind of role would this be?
yeah.
I think the catch-all is science.
I was thinking either science or command because what we're working here on is a mental type of thing. Actually, you know what I want? I want a presence and command roll from Chirka. Difficulty's only going to be 1, I think.
Oh
but,
no.
Just because this is a struggle going on inside your own mind kind of situation. Like how much of Heaj is like just like, you know what, Chirka, get out of the way. I'm running this ship now.
Be a very entertaining conversation.
Ooh,
okay.
snap.
So you treat that how you want, but that's what you get there. That's a complication and a success, I assume.
Yeah.
So, I think I have some stuff we can do with that later on, but for now, when you first wake up, you can treat it how you want. I'm thinking a little later on, though, there might be some backlash there.
Yeah, I think when she wakes up, like, she's not sure who she is. Like, she genuinely cannot make sense of it.
Right.
And
we'll get to that in a second because I think it'd be nice to see someone actually to see that played out. I think it'd be fun.
Sure.
All right, so Dasavi is heading to the bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been about 3 hours. Everyone on the bridge has been pretty quiet the entire time. There hasn't been a lot of talking. Everyone really knows for the most part, everyone knows what's going on down in sickbay. So there's a lot of tension as to what's going to happen. Because not only are we risking what's left of the captain's life, we're also now risking Chirka's life. And, we don't know what's going to happen. So the crew is really on edge. Add into that, there's a Romulan ship somewhere out there that may or may not decide to blow you up because of reasons. There's maybe Klingon ships everywhere, and you're not in Federation space. So when you get on the bridge to Savi, there is definitely a lot of looks, a lot of eyes on you.
Doctor.
Commander.
Didn't expect to see you so soon. How'd you fare?
So far, so good. We're not out of the woods. The next few days will give us more information, but she's stable. She's doing well, at least externally. I didn't probe deeper. I figure she's got enough going on in her head without a third voice at the moment.
All right. Well, I suppose by the time we get back to Narinja, well, she'll either be stable or she won't.
Those are the choices.
Doggos and kitties making noises.
Human.
Ah.
When do you suspect that they'll be conscious?
Well, in theory, any other surgery within an hour or two. I don't know how this will impact normal recovery times. This is completely uncharted waters for me. I also don't know who we'll be talking to. Jorad always gave me the impression that when a symbiote melded with the host, they became an amalgamation of who the host was before joining and all the people the symbiote has been. With Cherka not having gone through whatever proper steps there are, I don't know what that means for her. I don't know if there's some sort of mind warding or strengthening exercises they do. No idea.
I'm gonna look around the bridge and shoot a glare at an ensign who is listening too intently in this conversation, like eyes forward.
Snaps back to the station.
Yeah. They're both strong. They're both strong, and you're quite proficient in your work. I'm sure they'll all pull through. We're making our way back to Narendra as quickly as we can, given the state of the ship. I've informed them of the situation. They'll have medical teams on standby and most likely some sort of representative from Trill to help facilitate this.
We will. Maybe we should continue this conversation in the ready room.
Fair enough. So now I can look down my crew sheet and figure out who's who's next in the seat at this point.
So I would say either Silva
Mills?
or Mills.
Yeah.
I think we're both ensigns, right?
Lieutenant Mills, I think, or Lieutenant Silva, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Mills
then Mills
is just
or
an
something.
ensign, isn't she?
Oh wait,
No?
my
No,
brain
she's
went.
junior
Yeah,
grade.
no.
Yeah.
Mills is Lieutenant JG.
She's junior grade. Silva is full lieutenant, but she is also the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Still, you can get a bunch of other people who can pilot. So
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I'm just gonna stand up and walk into the ready room. They'll figure it out.
let them sort it out.
Just kind of see what they do. Very well. I'd stand up and just walk the few meters over to the ready room.
I expect we are going to face some backlash from the Trill Council.
I don't go around the desk and sit in the seat, though. I take a seat on the couch. Sorry, what did you say?
I expect we're going to have some backlash from the council. Eventually, they'll come around. I wasn't exaggerating when I told Tirka there really are just two choices. And I'm certain the council would rather Heaj be joined with a Trill who wasn't approved than in the ground. But I'm certain they'll be up in arms.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm sure there will be plenty of political backlash through all of this, but you saved a number of lives today. Not just Heaj, but the hosts that came before.
It's all part of the job.
I am concerned about Cherka's mental state after all of this. She was fractured before this, and we're adding a new voice in that head.
wouldn't say so much fractured as lacking confidence.
That's probably more accurate. I've heard that symbionts can help with that if they don't overpower the host mind.
And that would be my concern with her. In this particular instance, Jared was a very strong personality, and I don't know how much of that was just him and how much of that was the Heaj symbiote. I never knew him before his joining.
Well, I suppose we'll find out. I'm certain the Symbiosis Commission will have all sorts of counselors and tutors and whatnot available, but she, of course, should have somebody on this ship to talk to.
Certainly. And I will do everything I can from both a physical medical perspective and telepathically. I can help her probably better than any of the counselors in that regard on the ship. However, I think she might be due for some shore leave when we get back.
I think we're all due for some shore leave when we get back.
Yes. But I think she might need to go home for a while.
I would agree. We'll be back at Narendra shortly. We'll see how everything else fared throughout this conflict. Not sure it's over, but I think it's contained more or less at the moment.
Hopefully.
Ultimately, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's going to win that tug of war between Starfleet and the Symbiosis Commission. We may very well drop Cherka off at Narendra and not see her again. And if that's what's best for her, then that's what's best.
I don't think that decision will be up to Starfleet or the Commission.
I think they both argue that, but I'll agree.
Well, they can argue it all they want, but I think deep down, she's going to do what she wants to do, and she wants to be in Starfleet. We don't see many Trill for a reason. If I recall from her file, she went against her family's wishes to attend academy.
She did make a choice to come on this mission. I made it very clear that this was a career-changing choice, and she did choose Starfleet. There's no doubt there. We'll see, and with Heaj being so high up in Starfleet ranks, I'm sure that will only be bolstered. Or she's going to have a lot of recovery to go through, and quite frankly, we don't always get to pick our assignments.
True.
I'll put in a good word for her, though.
As will I.
It could be complicated.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Coming back with the memories of Heaj. We'll see if they can extract him, get in a different host, and if so, it could be a much easier transition. But if not, I can't imagine being booted down from captain back to ensign in a completely different body, in a completely different mind.
Well, I'd be lying if I said Jorah didn't need a little humility.
I'd love to interrupt for the next transition to the next scene if you guys are good. I got an idea.
I'll just say, should get back to the bridge. Morale's obviously taken a hit. Keep sickbay in line and let me know when she's awake. Let me know when they're awake.
Will do. And I'll get you a mission report as soon as I can.
I'd love to have Delphine, Lieutenant Delphine to Commander DeSavi. We've got a security incident in sickbay.
Oh, all right. Just look at Ambrose.
Oh,
Elba's
that was
not
an
busy, right?
earshot. Medbay, what's this issue?
The patient is awake and throwing things.
Well, that's not the response I expected.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look sideways at the doctor. We're on our
my
way.
So who is going to enter the room first? I hope nobody minds me being a little indulgent here.
Oh, go ahead.
You're good. Probably. I'm gonna guess Ambrose is not gonna let Dasabi beat him into that room.
Beeman, no, probably not. But
No, not beam in. Beat him in.
oh, beat him in. I thought you said
I
beam in.
presume
I'm like,
we were physically walking to.
Right.
yeah, I would think.
Yeah, Ambrose will walk in first, if only because the word security incident was used.
Sure. Hypospray clangs off the door next to him. Chirka is there, but she has like a completely different countenance. And she says, I will not be held prisoner on this ship.
Dasabi just looks at her calmly and raises an eyebrow.
Don't you know who I am? I'm General Mycelo Heaj. My serial number is 41464. I am a prisoner of war.
General, if you will stop destroying my sick bay, we can have a conversation. But I think you need to be brought up to speed.
I don't know what you're talking about. Where am I?
You're on the Europa. She's a Federation starship.
The Federation. I demand to speak with Admiral Kirk.
Admiral Kirk is. I have
Super
no idea
dead.
where.
Long
Dead.
gone.
Admiral Kirk has completed both his time in Starfleet and in this universe.
What? That doesn't. But then she like puts her fingers on her head, and she's like trying to remember. Yeah, she's trying to. She goes, oh.
Bring up a display. This is the current star date.
She looks at the number and she goes, that's Dasavi. The surgery, did it? I mean, doctor, I'm sorry. I'm trying to. Who am I?
Sit down.
She sits down.
You are Yesbeth Chirka, or I suppose now Yesbeth Heaj.
That makes no sense. No, I remember now. The captain is dying, or is dead.
Yes.
Wait, I'm dead?
In only the sense that your people can only sort of die.
I have to speak with Kane. My wife. I can't. I have to. I'm sorry. I'm very confused.
Fine.
She looks at the date again, and she's like genuinely trying to make sense of this. I'm sorry. I don't know who I am. Not really.
Can I try to help?
Yeah, of course, doctor.
So I will reach into her mind. I don't quietly cursing the fact that our Vulcan is fucked off.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna go over to the other bio bed adjacent. Chirka. I'm talking to Chirka. All those other people. I'm talking to you.
It takes her a couple minutes to realize that's her name, and then she looks at you.
That's your name. Mar taught me something useful. The doctor here is going to provide another sort of assistance. We'll see if I can do this any justice, but sit down. Put your hands together and fold down all but your pointer fingers.
She does that.
Close your eyes and think about you, Cherka. Your energies, your thoughts. There's a lot more going on up there, but I want you to visualize yourself as a color. I want you to focus that color at the tip of your fingers. It's always going to be right there. It's always going to be an anchor point for everything else. All those other personalities, all those other thoughts, your own worries, they're all other colors. They're all connected to this primary one. They're all different hues, different mixtures. They're all coming off this center point. Focus yourself there and let the doctor help you out.
She does that, thinking very deeply as she takes deep breaths, and she'll say out loud, I'm yellow. I'm yellow. I'm yellow. I'm yellow. And she calms down, and she, do we want to do a roll, or I think we could just have a narrative?
Yeah, just narrative is fine for this.
So she looks, together with the help of the psychic, you infiltrate her brain, and you can definitely see, not infiltrate, that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
Sneak in
Slowly
like a
meander
ninja.
in.
Yeah. And yeah, she's definitely, you see exactly what's happening. She's got different personalities, and she's trying to make sense of them. And they begin to sort out as Ambrose says his words, and as she keeps repeating that mantra, and the personalities, they don't quite separate, but they do like meld into the background, and her own personality becomes in control, and she like lifts her hand and she looks at it, like trying to remember that it's her hand. She goes, so the surgery worked?
It did. You did very well.
Amazing. Thank you, Dasabi. I mean, Dr. Oniat.
She just laughs. Thank you. You have done your people a immeasurable service.
I suppose it's hard to. I feel like it's doing something to me.
From what Jorad described, it is. You're doing something to each other, I think might be the better description.
Yes, I remember that conversation. I remember. Oh, it's gonna take me a while to sort this out. Commander, I'm sorry, I threw something at you.
Thought that was the general.
I don't know who it was. They're all me.
Stay focused, Yellow.
She smiles. I think we can wrap that scene there, unless anybody else had anything specific.
No, seems good to me.
Nope, I think Jasavi would just tell her to go rest, and you're still in shared quarters, right?
Jerica is, yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh. Commander, do we have unallocated solo quarters somewhere on the ship?
We do. We have plenty.
I think the ensign could use some solitude.
I'll reassign the nearest solo quarters, nearest to sick bay. We'll set her up there.
All right, let's go ahead and take 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for indulging me with that nonsense.
Oh, that was great.
That was good.
Okay, great. Yeah. See you in 5.
All right, we are live. So we've had some high drama. Let's go ahead and move on now to about a day and a half or so later. Chirka starting to get things maybe not necessarily more under control, but longer bouts of not having 10 people screaming at once. Starfleet is aware of the situation with the captain, and you've been authorized for whatever kind of service you want to have aboard ship for Jorad. So let you guys go ahead and do what you want to do there.
It's got to be torpedo vertical.
I would suspect load up into a torpedo and launch them into the Genesis planet. Mm-hmm. That way we can come back in season 3.
Yeah.
So with that, the crew is gathered in the main whatever torpedo bay area, where apparently we have large enough space for a significant number of people to have burials, because that's the thing Starfleet apparently does. He's been, wrapped in whatnot in the torpedo, and there's a flag draped over him there in the middle of the room. Several people take a few moments to, they're milling about a bit and sharing stories and reliving the times when Heaj either, said something to them that was meaningful, or, in some other way impacted their lives. After a little time, the ship's chaplain, because that's the thing we're going to do, says a few words. I didn't actually write any. I should have thought of that. It's on me. Stifles near the end there. Most human. Anyone else that wants to say any words prior to him, prior to the service being ended, is welcome to. After the chaplain finishes up his thing, he invites anyone that wants to say any words up.
I think Chiurka is specifically not going to be there. I think that's a hard thing for a Trill.
Fair enough.
I would think that would be weird. Yes.
Yeah. Costra might say something.
Sure.
The best kind of captain is the captain that sticks in his own business, as far as I'm concerned. And he was a good captain. He knew when to get involved and when to step back. And I think Starfleet's going to miss him. I know I am. All right, let's pour dirt on this guy and get out of here. And he walks up.
Savi's like, whatever. I got nothing.
She's holding the ship in a bottle that Heaj always kept in his ready room. And has been like holding it with this mix of like security blanket, and also I've come to put this on the casket, but I don't think I can let it go.
Mm.
And there've been a couple of times that she's come over and she's just kind of stood there and started to set it down and pulled it back. And eventually she'll put a hand on the casket. This was not how we were supposed to say goodbye, old friend. Sorry, I couldn't. She kind of just chokes up and steps back.
I walk up behind that and just sort of put a hand on Dasavi's shoulder. Turn and address the cargo bay or wherever we are. We've said goodbye to a great man today, great captain. Captain Heaj, last I heard, is stable and doing well enough in Captain Heaj lives on. We are here saying goodbye to Captain Jurad. This strange distinction that Trills have, well, forces me to realize that, to admit that I'm not sure how well I knew Jurad or Heaj, where that line was, or if there even is one. With any luck, I'll still be able to find out. Jurad was a great captain. I know as the first officer, I had a unique perspective and a unique relationship with the captain. A relationship I've shared with other captains, but I think Jurad tested me the most. I think we tested each other quite well. Helped fill in each other's gaps. And it is a regret of mine that I did not get to know Jurad much outside of that chain of command relationship. But we'll fill his loss here in the Europa. Out here in the mostly uncharted expanse. He was so excited to be out here. He brought an enthusiasm to this mission, to every mission we went on. We need to keep that alive. It's with that, and I suppose the Heaj symbiont, that we can preserve Jorad's memory.
I think Koba's going to lean over to Mills and he's going to go, wait, so is he really dead or not? I'm confused.
I'll explain later.
All right.
And with that, do you have anything else you wanted to go?
I assume it falls to the acting captain to send him on his way.
Yeah, I was going to do something real quick.
Okay.
If you guys can hear it. As they're going to play taps, the captain, they pick up the flag and they fold it over and do the salute. In lieu of any family members being here, the flag is given to the acting captain to pass on to the family as needed. Haj's casket is then lowered into the
Jorad's
tube mechanism. The honor guard stands at attention and turns to face the tube, and then Ambrose gives the order, just a nod, and the mechanism fires. The camera kind of follows the casket as it goes through space, and there's that, the solar flare light behind it as it goes flying out into the deepness. After a few more minutes of silence and whatnot, the crew begins to disperse, and in the end, it's just the main crew standing near and around Ambrose as things settle down. Yeah. Anyone that wants to have any final words to go before we go on to another scene is welcome to. Otherwise, that's a good place to stop, I think. The scene, anyway.
I think I just want to add, I think Chirka is like in the door in the hallway, just looking like she couldn't stop her curiosity. And so she had to catch a glimpse of this. But she's not going to let anyone know she was there.
Okay.
I imagine the door to the hallway, the deck up, like on the catwalk.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the second story. So she's overlooking, but not directly in anyone's line of sight.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to do there or no?
No, I'm good.
All right. Taps always gets me.
Thank you again for indulging me. I enjoyed that a lot.
Does anyone else have anything they want to do aboard ship before arriving at Narendra? This would be a good time for like a Mills and whatnot encounter.
Yeah,
I think it was
wanna do
talking
that.
Mills and
Oh yeah, sure.
So Mills will go check in your new quarters.
Yeah, I think she's got the same decorations that she had before. She's got like a couple like paintings and stuff that she brought from Toral. Nothing too fancy. But she's also got a few gizmos now, similar to the ones that were in Haj's office. And she says, Lieutenant Mills. I mean, Fiona. Sorry. Good to see you. Come in.
She awkwardly hands you some discarded piece of electronics.
She looks at it and she
You're
goes,
supposed to bring a welcome gift when somebody gets a new place, but that it wouldn't let me take any plants out of the arboretum, so I couldn't bring you a house plant. I thought this was more fitting for you anyway.
I mean, this is a positronic matrix. So of course, she sets it on her desk. I'll play with that later.
Pong assured me it wasn't needed, so if Coaster gets mad, you didn't see me.
All right. Well, trust me, if he wants it back, he can get it back better than it ever was.
How you doing?
Doing well. I mean, it's still taking some getting used to remembering people's names and things. It's the spontaneous recall that's the hardest, you know. But it's I know who I am, at least.
Good. And this is something you said you never wanted, like really, really never wanted, adamantly.
Oh, believe me, I know. You know, I was worried that it wouldn't be me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like me, but I feel like me plus.
You plus 20 people that are in your head?
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit strange, but I'm getting used to it. And I don't know, it's kind of comforting. You're never lonely.
Also, never alone.
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
You're also never alone.
No, I suppose not, but I don't know. Do you count yourself as alone when you're by yourself?
Of course.
Right.
But I don't have...
But you're there. Yeah.
Yeah, but just me is there.
It's not like that. It's more like they're all me. I'm all of them. I always thought it would be like a multiple personality kind of thing, you know? That's how it looked from the outside.
Yeah.
But instead it feels like a computer got dumped into me. But it's all on a hard drive, separate, and I can just draw from it whenever I want. It's hard to explain. It's a rather simplistic way of putting it, I guess. But
what do you think it's gonna be like after you go back?
I don't know. I don't know. If we don't get Trill soon, I might not be able to. And,
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Before too long, the synapses get linked together and they can't be separated, at least not without the host dying.
I guess that makes sense. They wouldn't just let you die to get the symbiote back, right?
No. I'm mostly sure about that.
I mean, I don't think I wouldn't let you die. I don't know how much say you'll get in the matter, but
Thanks. Yeah, I don't want to die either. To be honest, I'm not sure I want to be separated.
really.
Yeah, I know before it seemed strange and unusual, but now that it's happened, I don't know. It'd be like going backwards, you know?
I mean, it makes sense. I as much as having a whole bunch of other people shoved in your head is got to be weird. I mean, the sudden silence of having them ripped out has got to be even weirder.
Yeah, I can just imagine. Well, I mean, I suppose I don't even need to imagine. I've died a couple times. It's always so strange knowing I died in the med bay.
That's got to be weird.
You have no idea.
No. Better the you than me, friend. I think I'll stick with my one life.
Hey, as long as it's a good one, I guess. Do you want a drink?
Always.
Well, she walks over to the replicator. I think we can wrap up that scene there.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Jack eating Fritos with chopsticks is very distracting.
That what it was, Fritos?
Yep.
No, I get it. I get it. Those things.
I
make
was
a mess.
expecting it to be like maybe like a walking taco kind of thing. I'm like, maybe that's why he's eating them with nope, those are just dry Cheetos with chopsticks. Okay.
I don't want dust all over my fingers. I got things to do.
That's legit.
Fair enough.
Makes sense. Can't use a fork.
Yeah. Streamer tip: you want to eat with chopsticks. Keeps your hands from getting messy.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything else they want to do aboard ship before we get to Narendra?
No.
No.
Okay. After several days of travel, life aboard ship is slowly but surely carrying on. Back to normal isn't really the correct term, but carrying on. The ship repairs are almost complete. Tong has been busting ass the whole time, getting those GPS conduits. And
Tong is working even more than usual, like to an unhealthy degree.
Okay. Overworking a little bit.
Yeah.
When you arrive at Narendra Station, there is a group of Klingon ships that are there, including Martok's ship we saw that you had seen earlier. Kargan's ship is also there. It has suffered severe damage, but it is docked. There is a Romulan ship that that some of you recognize. Well, those of you who are out of the bridge recognize. It is not docked, but it is pretty close to the station. When you get aboard, Ambrose, you were told that Admiral Arlani wants to speak with you. I assume you don't have any problem going to Arlani's office.
Nope. Straight away.
Yep. When you enter, there's a few other aides and whatnot in there, and Martok is there, as is Kargan. Toshari is also there. She's sitting in the corner. This is similar to the same scene that got when Heaj first arrived on station. Arlani stands and walks over to you and reaches out a hand and puts his hand on your shoulder as you take his hand. And Commander, it's my condolences. Captain Heaj was a fine officer and a good man.
He was. Thank you.
He stops and looks at you for a second and then nods, and as is customary, and is well earned for your efforts and all the things that you have done for the Federation, and he just kind of cuts off a little bit and reaches over to the table and pulls something, grabs something and hands it to you. It's a little satin, like red satin box. It's my pleasure. for lack of a better term, to promote you to captain. For the moment, you'll be assigned to the Europa. She's yours. General Martok, Sub-Commander, and Captain Kargan have all expressed that you appear to be someone who is more than capable, and that they trust you to fill Heaj's role in the system. And I agree. I wish it was under better circumstances, but congratulations, Captain.
Thank you, sir. I'll endeavor to live up to those expectations.
He turns and inhales heavily, like, it's not going to be an easy task. There's still a lot to do in this sector. And Europa is not a ship that was designed to be without Captain Heaj.
I do understand he was probably the most familiar with the most unique member of our crew, our computing systems.
Indeed.
To my understanding, he's shared some of that knowledge with key members of the science and engineering team. I'll look around to everyone else in the room. But of course, Admiral, if you deem it necessary that Eva be given a new representative on Europa, or whether she needs to be transferred, it's certainly an option we could work towards.
He turns back to his chair and sits down, shuffles through a couple of pads. Captain Heaj had sent a request, a notice, that he would like to have Eva administered training, equivalent to that of the Academy. I think that is something that we can certainly follow through on as soon as we get things sorted here in system. There's also been a request for the Europa to escort a diplomatic mission out of system, so that may be an opportunity. I'm still looking into whether or not this is going to be the best choice of usage for the Europa, but for the moment, we'll keep you here in system. It's going to take you a little time to get used to your new position, but I know you're familiar with the crew, and it's been a fine crew so far.
They have. They're holding together. They've done a lot of good work to get us this far.
Very well. I'd like a fitness report for the ship within 72 hours, if you would. We're going to need to know what we're going to be doing with the ship as far as what resources are available in system. In the meantime, once again, my condolences and congratulations, Captain.
I'll pass that on to the crew, and to my knowledge, Jurad's wife is aboard station.
She is. She's been made aware of the situation, but as you served with him most closely, if you wish to stop by and talk to her, she's available.
I think I owe him that. May I request a small rotation of shore leave for my crew while we work on repairs and reports? Obviously, morale could use some bolstering.
Of course, absolutely. The station's at your service. There should be a docking facility available. He looks at a pad and looks at Kargan.
Oh, Kargan's here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kargan, Martok, and Toshari are all here.
Right. Okay.
We should have Kargan just kind of like he doesn't shy away, but he definitely doesn't meet either yours or Arlani's gaze directly.
There's definitely a very strange spectrum between Ambrose's eye movement as he goes from Kargan on one side and the like you're responsible for this glare to Toshari and the like we're in cahoots but I got you sort of look.
Right. Arlani says we should have docking space available in 32 hours, which point Europa is welcome to dock, and the station will be able to help with repairs. In the meantime, and until the ship is complete, you are welcome to have your crew aboard station. I would advise that due to tensions, and he looks at Kargan.
We both do.
Klingons and Federation officers use discretion when intermingling.
I'll look over at Kargan. I'll make sure my crew is aware.
He looks directly at you. The warrior's gaze and stands. There will be no trouble from my Klingons. There has been enough between us all. He looks back to Arlani and then back to you. You have my sincerest apologies, Commander, or Captain. I was only doing my duty.
I can appreciate that.
I can appreciate all that you and Captain Heaj have done. I will make it right. He kind of looks at you and looks at Arlani. And you can see him, he doesn't look to Martok, but he kind of nods a little bit and like sharply looks back to you and starts to move out of the room. As he leaves, Martok turns to you and also he stands and turns to you also. Congratulations, Captain. Don't mind Kargan. It is an unfortunate business we've all been through. Join me when you get a chance. I would like to share some wine with the new captain. We're going to be working well together, I think. And soon we will have to make arrangements because Duras is still on Kronos.
We'll have words. I'm sure this isn't over.
I'm sure it is not. He claps you on the shoulders and congratulations again. Your captain died with honor, and you will serve with it. And then kind of smiles and moves past you out the room. Toshari doesn't say anything. She doesn't really even look at you. She's just kind of not distant, but definitely like steeling herself. Arlani looks at her and looks at you, and if there's nothing else, Captain.
That's all I have. I'll see to my ship and my crew.
Dismissed.
I'll get that report to you shortly.
Excellent. Carry on.
Sub Commander. Just nod and turn around.
She doesn't look at you, but she nods and then looks back to the Admiral before you turn and leave.
All right. I'll head back to the ship, make sure I get all kinds of reports set up. Engineering report, tactical report, casualty report, all those reports.
Right.
All the various colored headers.
Right. This would also include any promotions that you want Starfleet to approve, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Anybody else have anything else they want to do there? Any other downtime sessions, downtime moments that anyone wants to have?
I do want to have Silva talk to Ambrose.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think she'll like catch him in the hallway. She'll run up, Commander, Captain.
Yeah, actually, Ambrose took that box and really just pocketed it. And actually hearing that, he'll take it out. I suppose so.
Congratulations.
What can I do for you, Lieutenant?
Well, I've been meaning to talk to you before everything went haywire. I want to put in for, I want to apply for a transfer to Starfleet Intelligence.
It's a big move.
I think I could do it. In my time with the Maquis, I know more than, I have more practical experience than most Starfleet Intelligence officers. And, I can complete most of the paperwork while we're on the ship. And, I think I could be a valuable addition.
Well, from my understanding, outside of a very specific academy track, intelligence tends to find those they deem worthy.
Sure, but I'm sure we can, raise our hands and say, "Hey, look at me. I'm worthy."
Well,
I mean,
get your hand up.
My hand's up. Do you think I'm worthy?
I'm a little more, generally direct than intelligence would normally operate. So I don't know if I can judge you in that way, but you're right. Your time with the Marquis certainly provides you a unique experience. And you've shown a way with getting information out of difficult interviewees. I think that's a distinction that intelligence is going to make, but I'm not opposed to it, as long as you focus on your duties while you're still here.
Of course, I think I can definitely do both. Well, if you'll give me the recommendation, I'll contact Starfleet.
I'll look into it.
Thanks, Captain.
Keep your hand up.
She will back away, going, and then she'll turn around and walk away.
Okay.
Down in the brig,
Yeah.
Teketh will hit whatever call button will get him somebody's attention.
Okay.
Bang on the force field.
Sure.
Hey, motherfuckers!
In the most dignified Romulan way.
Is Koba okay?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Koba just happens to be on shift at that time. Hey. Hey, quiet there. You need a change of sheets? What do you need?
Rumblings say that we have reached Narendra Station. I believe the situation was supposed to be reevaluated.
Well, we had some issues. Don't think I'm at liberty to tell them to a prisoner, but It's going to have to go through a new captain.
I would like to speak to your new captain.
All right.
At his leisure, of course. I'm certain he is far too busy to trouble himself with.
I can't make any promises, but I'll let him know you want to talk to him.
Appreciate it.
And then,
I'm certain he'll be willing to honor the deals of his previous captain.
you're pretty confident for a guy in prison clothes.
Starfleet does pride itself on doing the right thing.
Uh-huh. Okay, sure. We'll see how it goes, pal.
He just grins.
And he'll go to a place where Ticket can't hear him. Then calm. Commander Ambrose.
Go ahead.
The prisoner would like a word with you. He says something about honoring a deal.
Right. Well, having helped broker that deal, let him know that when I have new information, he'll have it. We're at Narendra Station. The details are being discussed. Until then, he can sit tight.
You got it. And then he'll go tell Ticket, Captain will think about it. You just sit tight.
I appreciate your help. How's your new bartender treating?
Terrible. Just awful. Cannot mix a Bolian blue to save his life.
You know, if you bring me the ingredients, I could hook you up.
You're not tricking me like that. I'm not. Do I look dumb to you?
No.
That's right. Sit tight.
Don't have much other choice.
Seems like a good place to end the scene.
That whole thing, of course, is part of the plethora of reports I'm preparing for Orlani.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would assume. Anything else anyone wants to accomplish before we go to the next bit?
I'm good for on-screen stuff.
Okay. So next, let's go to kind of wanted to do something on her tongue, but I don't have anything at the moment. Let's do Ambrose and well, that was a weird sound. Ambrose and I assume you're probably in the captain's ready room at this point, or maybe your quarters, finishing up reports. Depends on whichever one you feel more comfortable in.
Yeah, if we're docked at or at least orbiting Narendra, I'd be back in my quarters.
Yeah. You're currently orbiting. Hang on one second. Okay. So you get a message, a comm from I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, the door chime rings is what I'm going for here.
Yeah. Come.
The door slides open and Toshari, if I can figure out where I put her, is there. She's gone. I got no idea where she went. She is not wearing her normal uniform. She's wearing civilian clothes. They're still Romulan civilian clothes, so they're very pointy and jagged.
Mm-hmm.
And big shoulder pads.
Big shoulder, yeah.
And she She kind of smiles and holds up a bottle that she has in her hand that is not a blue liquid this time.
Well, Sub-Commander, you were not on my list of people I was expecting to walk through my door. Not that I mind. Come on in.
She when you say, that she's not who you were expecting, she kind of hesitates for a second, and then you say, come in, and she does. I'm sorry if I'm disturbing, Commander, or Captain. My apologies. It's simply been a long day, and I don't have much company aboard this station. At least not anymore.
How's your
Perhaps
crew?
I may be reading too much into it, of course, but the crew is concerned. I will be returning to Romulus in a few days. And I have turned over command of my ship to my first officer.
Oh.
The Senate intends to have an inquiry.
Of course. And I assume you're heading back home to provide your testimony.
Yes. Again, she sets the drink down, and you can see it's like a greenish color.
I'll get up and materialize some glasses.
Commander, there is no question that what I did was necessary. I think we've discussed already that I would do it again. But I want you to know that I don't know that I would have done this for anyone else. There is something I do not understand between us. I do not know if you have the same feeling. But from the first time we met aboard Europa, there has been something unusual. And then with your how much do you know of Romulan nursery rhymes?
Well, not much. I'm familiar briefly, slightly, with only a single one.
When I was a little girl, my father and I suffered a loss. My mother was killed for speaking out against the Tal Shiar. And my father and I became very close. And each night he would sing me a lullaby and a nursery rhyme and tell me stories of the glory of the Empire and other such stories, other such fairy tales.
Romulan fairies.
Mm.
I'm familiar with plenty of such stories. My mother used to have a fairly similar routine. Be curious to learn how Romulan fairies compared to those of the northern English Isles.
I imagine that Romulan fairies may be more violent.
You'd be
Although I don't-
surprised.
I'm not familiar with northern hemispherical Earth fairy tales. The connection that we share, I don't know what it is, but it certainly has something. The fairy tale that you hummed is the one that my father used to tell me. I don't know what connection we shared, or if it still exists. But I wanted you to know that that is why I felt I could and must help you.
So all my well thought out diplomacy about the connections between our two people, that was
It wasn't unhelpful. She smiles and takes a sip of the drink. I'm simply
Here
hoping
I-
that. Go ahead.
here I thought I was picking up my old diplomatic roots.
Perhaps. And they may have worked on someone else, but you already had my attention. I'm only hoping that your persuasions, for the record, convince my father that we did the right thing. I would hate to be. She kind of smiles and looks into her cup. Suffice it to say that my father is a powerful man, and I would hate to see him weakened by my loss. I would also hate to be lost.
Well, I'm not sure how much I would say this to any other Romulan, but I think it would do a great disservice to your people.
She hides a smile by drinking. If all goes well, Commander, I would like to see you again.
Well, I hope your visit back home is brief and productive. And then we can get you back to Narendra. I'm sure you provide a very valuable service here.
I'm not sure what service I can provide anymore, but I certainly have had in my experiences. Speaking of which, I suppose it is not too late to put in a good word for my associate aboard your ship.
Right. I think he's getting a little antsy down in his box.
I suspect. I don't know that you can do anything for him, but he is a valuable asset, not only to the Empire and to me, but he will be to you as well, assuming that he isn't hung.
We don't tend to do that.
Ah, yes, the superior morality of the Federation. And she smiles again as she takes a sip.
There was an arrangement that was worked out, an arrangement that I am already. I hold up a wave around a pad. An arrangement that will go through the brass as much as it can. Unless anything comes back any big red flags, I do intend to hold up that arrangement. Your good word is reassurance, though.
I appreciate it, Commander. I would hate to lose another worthy officer. What kind of music do you listen to when you're... What kind of music makes you happy, Commander? Captain, my apologies. Again, as she smiles and drinks.
I didn't even notice. I've never been one for music. It's an art form I don't have the ear for. But my father was a fan of old earth classical, the old wooden instruments and woodwinds and pipes and all that, flutes and such. It can bring an air of nostalgia.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find anything in the system.
I did pick up an appreciation for Bajoran music while I was there. For people that were repressed for so long, repressed for so long. Their music is very soulful, very proud, and even uplifting, surprisingly enough.
She smiles and stands and pours you another glass. Play something for me. What's your favorite?
I'll get up and go to one of the wall consoles and start typing in, scrolling through different things. Pick out some track that is some futuristic alien assemblage of flutes and other sort of tinny whistle instruments and chimes and harp and whatnot.
Okay. Sorry.
Me, Jack, I'm not a music person,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't
that's
know
fine.
much about music.
That's fine. That's fine. As you play it on, she just kind of smiles and sits back down, and we kind of, the music playing in the background. We cut to another scene. I was going to actually play some, but I didn't think that one far enough ahead. But the scene cuts from there, and it pans to the as the music's playing, the camera kind of pans back and pulls out of the window, and the music is playing over, and the credits start. But before the credits finish, we come back to a scene aboard ship, in a darkened room as Silva enters. An unknown amount of time later. Time is irrelevant in this particular instance. The lights are dark, but you definitely feel like there is someone in the room with you when you enter. Calling for the lights up, you see this sitting at the table across from you.
2x2.
Yeah, I was going to do them, but I couldn't find a good photo of both of them. There wasn't something going on. He looks at you and he's got his hand on, like, over a little pad that he looks down and looks back at you, and looks down on the pad and looks back at you. Melanie Silva. I'm looking right at it. I can't say it right. Melanie Silva worked with the Bajoran resistance, or the Maquis, I should say. interested in joining Starfleet Intelligence.
Yeah, I think I could bring a lot to the service.
We shall see. We shall see. And then the camera ends. End the season there.
Sure, sounds good.
Since it is 9:45, I thought that was a pretty good end.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up. Let's do a. I should have done something else with this one, but what a moment stands out most to you for this evening? Other than taps. I thought I made. I
the
almost thought I
Jurad
made.
funeral, obviously.
I thought I almost made Jack cry with taps there.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, you guys couldn't hear
that
it?
audio
No, we
didn't
can't
come
hear
through.
it through this.
Oh,
I assume
I
it
thought I
came
played it
through.
away so you guys could hear it. It was supposed to go so you guys could hear it. So
No, I'm sure it went through the stream, but it didn't go through
I thought you
I
just
gotcha.
Zoom.
meant the whole thing is taps. Yeah, no, I didn't hear it either.
no, I actually played taps. Yeah, no, it sounded really good on my end. I was super sad.
Mm.
Well, it added to the mood. I thought
Yeah.
the atmosphere was great.
If it worked, it might have
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah,
I was getting into that scene.
Yeah, and I really liked my thing is I really like Jack's what do you call
eulogy.
it? Eulogy. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a good,
Empress's eulogy.
especially pretty much for being improv. I like that. It was really good.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. True. Not really improv, but improv.
It was very much improv. I went down to try to write something like, it isn't working.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Who best?
I did really like the difference in the lead up to that with Kostra and then the doctor
Yes.
and then me
Yeah.
wrapping up, and it just like bounced between all of the different like flavors of grief.
Yeah, I like that. It was good.
I don't think I properly conveyed Kostra though. I did want him to like be sad, but he's a dirt miner, so like
No.
No, I thought that was perfect. I thought that showed his like that pragmatic side of Kostra that we always see, and then underneath it a little bit of like, yeah, I like this dude. He was pretty good, but also, we got shit to do.
Yeah, good.
okay.
I miss him, but I'm really busy.
Right.
I'm glad that came across. Okay.
Some bitch told me I had to run my ship at full speed before she was ready.
Yeah. All right. Who best embodied their character in this session? I thought Jack did a really good job.
Yeah.
So,
Disavi also did really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's going to take a little while to get Cherika's new feet underneath her, but I think I'm looking forward to some of that.
Mhm.
So
I enjoyed the scene in the med bay with the
Yeah.
general.
yeah, I really liked the liberties he took there with the throwing the having the little tantrum. I like that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That also will lead really well. I think if we do an episode where we do the reliving
Ceremony?
the previous, the ceremony where we relive the previous lives, I think that could be
Mhm.
that'll be really interesting to do now. All right. What did you see from another player or character that you're looking forward to seeing more of in season 2?
I really liked all of the kind of off the cuff RP that we had tonight. I think there was a lot of like we're usually really good about role playing, but I felt like there was more today. I felt like we were more in the scenes than we normally are.
I think this session was easily a culmination of everything we've done so far, and I
Yeah.
thought we were all shooting on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard episode to have. I mean, we had a lot of build up to this episode, so
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking forward. I've been looking forward for a while. I'm a little sad that John wasn't available for any of these,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but sad. If you could change one thing about this session, what would it be? And then I want to ask a couple questions about the season as a whole.
I think not having John would be the one thing I would change.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of really good scenes that having either Cass or Mar would have been beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. I really like. I miss that we don't have Kaz and the captain, and we're not gonna have Mar and the new captain. Those were interesting storylines that I think would have played out nicely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to change about this episode?
No, I'm happy with everything.
Okay. So let's go back a little bit and thinking back on the entire season. I know it's hard to do because it's been a long, long season. What moment do you think stands out the most to you for the entirety of the season?
Okay, so
rememberings.
I remember when Jorad and Orani first met, and like Jorad tried to like give him a bottle of alcohol, and like Orani just stared at him blankly. I remember that scene very well, and I think that they created a great arc between the two of them. Where they started working together and got closer, and yeah.
Okay. Ev, you got anything?
I think it's there are two that kind of pop up, and one is going back further and establishing the three mains and that relationship with the kind of not argument that Desavi got called into in the ready room, and trying to play peacemaker between the two of you.
Right.
And the other was the moment where, with Gothmara, where I'm pretty sure Desavi was shitting herself as she's telling Gothmara, "Today is a good day to die because I just might have killed the entire ship."
Okay, Jack, you got anything?
I'm so in my own head right now, still trying to parse out all of my different characters and trying to get Dina Myers out of my head. Because you did that to me. But I have a ton of really cool cinematic scenes in my head, like mainly my own stuff, because like I said, I'm still stuck in my head. But that first episode or two, just jumping off the balcony at DS9 down into a fray, like that was so pinpoint to Ambrose's personality, which changed so much to the end of this arc with that eulogy. I think that really bookends this particular chapter of Ambrose. Likewise, I think the two biggest Ambrose Heaj scenes that I can pick out is at Hellerun, and how much contention there was between the two of them there, and everything that stemmed from that, up to the point in the holodeck with building the boat on the lake. I think that was exactly the turning point where we got away from that sort of butting heads and both acknowledged who we are and how we work together and how we fit into the crew together and could complement each other. And there was a compromise made between both of us. And it was from that point on that I knew that I wasn't going to have enough time to get to know Jorad as a friend before his death, which again goes back to this eulogy and was exactly what he was saying. And that was what I was thinking of the entire eulogy. Like that was the point where it was more than just the confrontation of first officer to captain. It can be a contentious relationship, but that was the point when it turned into a later sort of Picard Riker, friendship relationship, but did not have the opportunity to blossom.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really interesting to build on that with Yezebeth.
Yeah. Like, hey, we didn't finish this boat. You know how to build boats. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you've got Yezebeth's relationship with Ambrose.
I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah.
I'm Marie Kondo here. I love mess.
So there was an episode where as far as Ambrose and Heaj go, there was a moment before Ambrose went on this last mission where I don't remember exactly what you said, but it really had that moment of foreshadowing of if I don't come back sort of thing. But Ambrose came back and then Heaj wasn't there. So
Ambrose was saying that because he did not intend to come back.
Yeah. And that actually was the moment I realized that this is going to be the last. This is going to be the wrap up. Like I'm going to have to kill Heaj here. No matter what I do, I'm gonna. It's got to be now because that line. if you do that line too many times, then it doesn't
Mhm.
work anymore.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, I
so,
know. I was pressing the button for you with that line.
Yeah, no, I was pretty sure that was where it was going to go anyways. I might have been writing for that, but I actually had one more episode in mind, a way to write it. But I'm like, this was the best wrapping. If I'd done more, it would have stretched out too long.
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
No, and I'm very glad that we went here. I know we talked quite a while ago about killing Heaj off several episodes ago, and um, I'm very glad that we came to the agreement that we weren't going to do it when we initially had talked about it.
Yeah, no, I really had a plan on how I wanted it to go down. Like when I wrote this last arc with the build up of the Romulans, and well, it was really the build up of the Klingons, and then the Romulans are starting now to get involved and setting up some more of that kind of stuff. I wrote that after Jack. It was really after I think John left, and I didn't have much I could do, and Jack was talking about wanting to make sure that we got a good something. I don't remember how the conversation went, but it was something about, making sure we had a good storyline to go forward and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I sat at work one day and I wrote out 6 episodes, just bullet points. It's like 1,000 bullet points. They don't make any sense. Like I go back and read them now. I'm like, I don't know. I know what I'm thinking when I write these, but I have no idea how to put them in an order that I can actually execute this plot.
I've been there.
Yeah. And I had it all in my head. And I think that's one of the reasons I was able to do last episode the way I did is I knew where I wanted it to end up, even though I hadn't prepped at all for that session. And I think that last session and this session really culminated in I think these two are probably the best episodes we've done since the DS9 episodes. So I'm really happy about that.
They were good.
And yeah, I'm glad it went the way it did.
Yeah.
So I don't have a real standout moment for Dasavi, but I liked the Mills. There was a scene with Mills and Koba on a planet way back. You guys were infiltrating a little scene on a planet, and the two of you were there. I'm pretty sure two of you were there. And I don't remember a lot about that scene. I just remember the interplay between you guys was really interesting, and I very much enjoyed the rivalry, not rivalry.
Yeah. I like how that relationship has evolved.
They feel like buddy cops, and I like it.
Yeah.
A little bit. It reminds me a little bit of the Lower Decks characters. I can't remember their characters' names right now either, but there's like one of the NPCs, one of the off-camera characters, and the main character have kind of a little pseudo rivalry. But I liked it all. It's pretty good.
Jet Boimler and
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to go back and watch it again. But anyway, I
think the scene that stands out for Dasavi the most is the one that Ev actually brought up, with her being either being called in or walked into the ready room. Well, me and Heaj were going at it like bad, like probably the worst we were going at it in the professional facade we both put on and played referee to that. And I'd love to see that transition or flip into a similar role between Ambrose and I'm going to continue calling her Chierka, but Yesbeth Heaj.
Yeah. So you got a choice you got to make now. You got to find a new XO.
Yeah.
So
Tong.
No. That way you can just do all the role playing with yourself. It's just going to be you and me playing.
I will say I would love to get together off camera at some point to discuss promotions and new players.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it's in the works. It's in the plans. So we'll definitely do that, and we'll see if we want to add more people and all that kind of stuff, and where we want to take things going through season 2, and what we see as far as the final result, the final end game of the series.
Sure.
Because series always, I don't think I want to go 7 years with this thing.
Yeah.
So
a bit much.
I get it.
It's a bit much.
Doctor Who series.
Well, Doctor Who would be fine if we got different writers coming in. Like Moffat can come in and do what he wants to do. So
I do have, now that we have resolution to everything, I'll be writing up the mission report from Davi's perspective, and the commendations and suggestions for promotions that she's got from her end of things as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some stuff up on the Patreon too, like some of your guys' letters that you did earlier on. I know we haven't done any in a long time, but I'm gonna put some of those up. I'm also gonna reply to a couple of them, that kind of thing. So we've got some stuff coming. Like even being off, I don't think we're gonna be totally away from the game,
No.
but definitely need a slight break. Whatever else we decide to do, I definitely need a little bit of break from Star Trek, just so I can get my head right and at least maybe watch some more Star Trek, so I can get back into the idea of what's going on. But we're gonna definitely revisit some stuff. In season 2, I know for a fact we're gonna see more of the storyline between the obviously your guys' characters, Chirka and all that. We want to hit up that moment with Chirka going to see Heaj's family, and I want to do more with the orb and stuff like that, because in one of the very first episodes you talked to the Kai, and
We did, yeah.
you were offered an orb
Mhm.
experience, and now we've done some more things with some orbs, and I definitely want to do some more with that and follow up with that.
Sure, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've got a lot more going on. Brian, you got to think of a new character you want to play.
Yeah, well, I figured that depends on a couple different things. But
Yeah, absolutely. But
I will
think
definitely.
of some ideas and stuff like that. And
I mean, I've already got an idea. The really only question is like what, because I was going to play Desavi's daughter.
right.
Yeah, and the only question is like what she's good at, because that I want to wait until if we bring in another person. Don't want to
Right.
take it.
I've been thinking it would be really cool to get a Klingon on the ship after all
Yeah.
this, and like a sort of like olive branch sort of situation. Like, here, you get a Klingon.
Bad
now.
idea.
I mean, you
Right.
only have 2 supporting characters. You should use them.
Except I think Ambrose and a Klingon
I
working
think-
together would be really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Although I'll be honest, like I think you could really use a security person, because I don't think Ambrose is going to be going down.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Unfortunately, not. Yeah, but I'm happy to pass that role to Mills / like we got plenty of security
No.
between Mills and Kova.
You're talking about having you have a security person, like you playing
Yeah.
one.
Even if it's like a new person, like you don't need to be in charge. But I mean,
What-
Yeah,
What we need more than that is a medic. So
yeah, you should make a medic.
a
A
medic.
Klingon medic. Do that.
Yeah, there you go. But we'll figure that all out.
Yeah,
We'll sort it out. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? Anything about the season you would change? Anything like that?
I mean,
No,
would
just
have loved
fewer
to have John.
Power issues.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
little more consistency, a little few power issues,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
I do
But
think the
when
new
we-
time has worked out really well.
What were you say, John or Jack?
When we did get to play, it was always really great. It was always really good. You're a great storyteller with Star Trek. You know what you're doing. We all work so well together with our own player driven narrative, but you always have something in the back to help push us along or focus us or get us into an overarching story.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed the story that you've set out for this. A lot of different nuances here and there that really helped us flourish as the players we are, that I know you planted in the ground for us.
Right. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that super long form everybody filled out actually worked out. That thing was long. All right. I don't have anything else unless you guys have anything else you want to add. I think we can go ahead and wrap up the season.
No.
All right. So long, everybody. Thanks
Live
for all
long
the
and
fish.
prosper.
Hey, everybody.